Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darson Chauskas. Today is the 8th of October 2018. So welcome everyone, welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're gonna have a look at a few instruments. But as always, before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. So, okay, let's have a look at the chart. So I hope you all feel nice and refreshed after this weekend. And so, yep, but let's not waste any more of our times, and let's have a look at the markets. Now, the first one I want to touch on is the FTSE 100. Now, on Friday, we saw the FTSE selling off nicely here and kind of in a way closing the day with this large about 100-point loss. Now, I was talking about this one in one of my videos last week, or to be more precise, on Friday's morning. I was talking about this one. I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this potential break that we're having here, and as maybe, like I said, some of you could also point out that this has been a nice head and shoulders formation from where we saw a break of the neckline, and this is what we saw here, a follow through, a sell-off towards the downside. So in a way we can get rid of these indications here, these marks. So for now, judging by this picture that we've got here on the daily chart, so we can see that overall we're still above this long-term upside support line taken from the 11th of February 2016. So we're still trading above that, and at the same time we're below this short-term downside resistance line taken from the peak of the 22nd of May. Of course, judging by this activity that we saw on Thursday and Friday, there is a chance that we could see actually a continuation slide here to the downside on the FTSE 100. Certainly, of course, there are some key important levels to keep an eye on first. So if this continues like this, then yep, we could end up testing, potentially, of course, testing this upside, this long-term upside support line, which could actually play out as a nice bouncing ground for this index. Of course, if it remains intact, that's quite an important point to mention here. We need to see that one kind of continuing to hold, and if it does hold and we won't see the kind of the index closing below this long-term upside support line, then, well, again, like I said, it could play out as a nice bouncing ground for the bulls maybe to step in and drive this one back up again. So for now, from the very short-term perspective, of course, we're more bearish than bullish. There could be a point, if let's say there could be a point where we could see maybe a bit of correction to the upside and then another push lower. So something like this could be possible as well. So, but for now, to be honest, in general, we would just be very careful with this one. We wouldn't touch it for now, but of course keep a close eye on it, because like I said, it could play out nicely and could form a nice opportunity to step in here. So as you can see also by the highlighted area that I've got here, so not far from the upside support line here, we do have this we do have this other support zone here marked by the lows of the 11th of September. Now that acted, yep, as you can see, it held the price nicely from dropping lower, and from which the index kind of pushed higher again. So for now, this is the area to watch. We could potentially test it, and if we do get to this point, then we'll just be very careful here, and of course wait for a signal, either a break and a close below this, or actually a nice rebound here, from which we could actually potentially maybe take advantage of that, and together with the bulls, of course. So something like this could be possible for those more conservative ones, conservative traders. Then you could eventually wait until this index gets back here towards at least the 7,430 zone, and potentially gets a nice close above it. And then you could probably aim for higher levels again. But so for now, just for the conservative traders, just stay put here and wait until we get a better confirmation here. So keep your eyes on that one. Looking at one of the commodities, and that's Brent. Certainly Brent so continues to slide lower. You can see that today's candle is already forming as a bearish one, and overall, as you can see, we are trading here above this long-term upside support line taken from the lows of the 21st of June 2017, but we're quite far away from that line. Where we're not far from is this short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 16th of August. Now, this one's probably going to be more important one for now, because as you probably you can see by the arrows that I've got here, this is where we're going to keep an eye on. So in a way, as long as it kind of remains intact, we're going to aim for higher levels again. We're initially going to aim for the 84.95 zone again, and if that doesn't hold, well, potentially would move all the way up here towards the 86.70 area, approximately there. So this 86.70 resistance area could play out nicely as well. But for that, of course, for us to see that level again, we would need to see a good rebound, of course, from this short-term upside support line, and then a move back above the 84.95, and this way, because like I said, we could aim for a possible test of the 86.70 zone again. So if this upside support line breaks and we see a close below this upside support line, this is going to be just half of the bearish story. Well, short-term bearish story, of course. We would need to see a good close below the 81.25 area, approximately there. Let me just quickly adjust the number here. So approximately there, this is where we could start aiming for lower levels again, lower levels like 79.80, this zone approximately there, of course, or even much better area of support here around the 78.30. So keep your eyes on this one. Of course, at the moment we cannot really talk about the downside here, like, or further declines, until we see a break and a close, not only below this upside support line, the short-term upside support line, but also below this 81.25 zone, so approximately there. So this could be a good confirmation for a potential slide lower. So for now, be very cautious here. Keep your eyes on this short-term upside support line. If the commodity never actually manages to reach that and reverses from here straight away higher, then yep, keep your eyes on this 84.95 zone. So a nice good break and a close above that could potentially lead towards a test of the recent highs that we saw last Wednesday, and that's approximately around the 86.70. Looking at a few pairs now. So the first one I want to touch on is the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, as you can see here, continues to trade within this downside channel, and of course, it's not really looking quite healthy. I would say that. I mean, it's quite in a way looks oversold here, but to be honest, there is some potential for this to move lower, and judging by this, I mean, it has broken, it has closed below this key area of support around the 0.7085. Now, for us to get comfortable with at least some sort of correction back to the upside, we would need to see a good close above that level, above the 0.7085 zone, and this way we could aim for the 0.7140, or slightly above that, the 0.7160 level, as you can see here by the lows of the 2nd of October. So that's the level that I'm talking about. Also, we could, if this continues, of course, traveling higher, I mean, we do have this upper bound of the falling channel here. So, but of course, until we start examining that, I mean, we need to see these tests of these areas, these resistance areas that I was talking about. So but that's what's in regards to if we get a close above the 0.7085 zone. If this continues to hold excuse me, if this continues to hold, then, well, looking at a more bigger picture here, we could start aiming for the levels last seen around the, well, actually February time 2016. Now certainly that's quite a huge drop here, so a good potential area of support here could be seen around this 0.6970 zone. Let me just kind of quickly mark that one, guys. So there we go, so approximately there. This is a very strong potential area of support. Could be, of course, it's marked by the low of the 9th of February 2016. It is quite a bit away from the from where the price is currently, well, where the rate is currently now, but to be honest, it's only about 90 and 90 pips here, so quite doable for the and let's say in a few days here for Aussie dollar. So this is going to be the one to watch. Of course, below that we do have the lower bound of the falling channel here, which also could play out. But again, of course, for that to see, for that a test of this lower bound, we would need to see a good close below the 0.6970. Sorry, I just moved this arrow a little bit here. There we go. So let me just get it back, approximately there, of course. But this is something like could be possible, but again, like I said, for now, just be very cautious. Keep your eyes on the on this level that I was just talking about. Let me just put it back here. This is 0.7085. So keep your eyes on that one, because a nice good break and close above that could open the path towards a bit of correction here to the upside. But if it continues to hold, then yep, we could see further declines. Jumping into GBPUSD. So nice move here to the upside on Friday. Currently stuck around the 130-115. To be honest, not much to talk about here at the moment. This continues to look quite bullish. We've broken this short-term downside resistance line taken from the peak of the 20th of September. So if we get a nice push away from the 130-115 to the upside, then yep, we looking at this like I said, looking at this slightly longer term picture, we could see a travel, we could see the GBPUSD traveling all the way towards the 132.15. Now this was marked by the highs of the 26th of September, so good potential area of resistance. But again, for that we need to see a good move above the 130-115, and of course especially a close above that level in the end, and this way we could, like I said, aim for the 132.15 zone. On the downside, keep your eyes on this little level right here. A nice good close below that. Let me just quickly mark that. A nice good close below that level, the 130.45. Let me just adjust this quickly up. There we go. And a nice close below that area could end up pushing the pair lower to potentially test this, in a way, tentative upside support line taken from the lows of the 15th of August. Of course, be very cautious with the GBPUSD, and like I said, if we do get a break below the 130.45, then keep your eyes on this tentative upside support line. Jumping into GBPJPY, now this one is a good one as well. As you can see, overall from the short-term perspective, of course, we are above this this upside support line taken from the low of the 15th of August, and of course at the moment, as you can see, that it's kind of struggling to overcome this formation that I've got highlighted here on my chart. So this very short-term veg formation here forming, and we can see that the pair is stuck slightly below the upper side of it. And if we do get a nice break and a close here, certainly that's going to be half of the story of the bullish story. We would need to see a good close above the 149.70 zone, approximately there, of course, in order to get comfortable with the potential upside move here towards higher levels. So for now, long story short, guys, keep your eyes on not only on this veg formation that we've got here. We've got the JPY trading in, but also keep a close eye on this one on 149.70 zone. So a nice good break and a close above that could open the path towards higher levels. On the downside, well, we're going to be very cautious here, but let's say from the very short term perspective, if this pair decides to move back down here below the 148.10 area, approximately there. Now this is where we could aim for slightly lower levels, but to be honest, we're going to be very cautious here because we still have this short-term upside support line running here, so keep your eyes on that one. And if we do get a break and a close below the 148.10, then of course we're going to aim for the for the lower side of this veg formation, and if that breaks, then we're gonna keep an eye on the 147.15. A nice good close below that could send this pair to test this short-term upside support line. So like I said, there are some good levels underneath here, but again, be very careful, as we are not far from this key area of resistance, and with this quite an important level here, the 149.70. A nice good close above that could lead the way towards higher levels. And one last pair that I really wanted to touch on, because I'm running out of time here. This is USD Swiss franc. It's looking quite extended, to be honest, to the upside. Certainly we can see the strength of the dollar here that we had over the past few days, and well, over the past week or so. And on Friday we had a nice formation here of a candle, of a daily candle here, which is a nice shooting star. According to textbooks, of course, we take this as a potential reversal signal. So be very careful here. If we do get a slide lower, then yep, that's wonderful. From the very short-term perspective here, look, potentially you could play out here as if you get a nice close below the 0.9890 level, this could potentially open the path towards lower levels like 0.9865 and then below. So keep your eyes on that one. There's actually a nice good potential area of support here. It could be seen around the 0.9825 zone, so approximately there. So, but of course, for that to see, we would need to get a nice good break and a close here below these two key support zones. On the upside, for us to start considering higher levels again, we would need to see the pair trying to wipe out the 0.9955 zone, which was approximately near the highs of last week, and this way we could aim for higher levels. So, but for now, it seems that it wants to roll over, but that's of course not confirmed yet. Like I said, for us to get comfortable with the short-term downside scenario, we would need to get a nice close below the 0.9890. So keep your eyes on that one. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. I do apologize that I ran over my time a little bit, but thank you very much. Yep, and if you want to join me later on in my Traders Tea Time, and that's 13:15 GMT, 14:15 British Summer Time. But for now, thank you very much, and bye-bye.